Hi, this is Ball 1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox One. And this is the second CG that we've had in recent times that's been very, very dead. This one was dead for various reasons, not just because the game's quiet, which undisputedly the game is quite quiet at the moment. It was also dead because it was for the guys who support Thargoids, the ones that pray to the Thargod, and not many people were down with helping them out. As you'll see from the numbers I give you for the number of people contributing to this CG. What you're watching here is a bit of piracy between me and Polo. Polo is much more patient than me with the message. So Polo was like, I've sent the message, I've told him to stop. I'm like, Polo, he's not stopping, he's not stopping. Sorry, I haven't told him how many tons yet. It's like, Polo, he's not stopping. I'm just going to hatch breaker him. I am way less patient than Polo when it comes to piracy. That's probably why I'm not as good a pirate as Polo, but it gets the job done. And to be honest, tonnage is tonnage when it comes to piracy. We count how many tons we steal, so we're always happy to get anything. Any cargo is a success, even 1 ton. And you'll see in this video, even stuff that's dropped by someone trolling us is gratefully received. But this CG was pretty dead. In fact, tonight was the busiest I've seen it, and it was all the PvPers just hanging out. They weren't actually doing the CG, they were just fighting each other, having a bit of fun. I popped up there, killed one imp and left because yeah, there was big fights going on. I did say if I offered to drop in on the behalf of NTFS, but Modern didn't see the message until I was long gone, and I went off to do my power play instead. So but you know, that was the busiest I've seen it, but that was just PvPers hanging out and fighting each other, which they can do in any system. They tend to do it at the CG when, you know, just seeking other players, and I'll be honest, there wasn't any other players there really. There was one member of Chemo crew, me, a bunch of FaZe and some NTFS and some cops, and that was it. It was very dead CG, very, very quiet CG. It's been a very quiet CG all along. There's been a lot of no cargo, as a lot of the people there were in combat ships, and a lot of people weren't carrying any cargo. My best bit of piracy from the CG is the last clip in this video, and that was pretty much it. This was a successful bit of piracy. The last clip was a successful bit of piracy, but on the whole, piracy of this CG was severely, severely limited. I mean, I definitely put in the time. I was there a lot of this CG. And I did see quite a few people. I had some very fun incidences and very crazy and very silly incidences. What I've got coming up is a really fun, stupid clip, and there was a lot of fun to be had in weird and wonderful ways. There was a decent amount of people present at the CG, but when I say it was quiet, I'm not talking about like individual commanders. I'm talking about the total number of commanders across all platforms that contributed towards the CG. I'm also talking about the commanders in system and the people just generally doing the CG. I saw some of the regular faces, but a lot of the traders won't come and do stuff for the cult of the Thargod. So that put a lot of people off. This gentleman has to learn something. So this was an encounter I had with an FDL while trying to pirate. Quite often we get attacked when we're pirating. That happens all the time. I got attacked sometimes by PvPers, which then I'll go get my PvP ship and chase them out. Sometimes I get attacked by people like this, who may be inexperienced gankers or not know something. So I do my usual, which is fire a hatch breaker to let him know. Now, if you watch closely, I keep close to this guy. There's a reason for that. I saw this in Super Cruise, and I will show you in a second what I saw in Super Cruise, which is I flick across to his weapons, and you'll see he's got torpedo racks, 4 of them, which means he's going to launch 8 torpedoes in my general direction very shortly, and I would like to be close to him when that happens because they have a minimum arming distance. He seems unaware of that, so I keep close and just wait for it to happen. I know it's going to happen, but it doesn't this time, so I jump out. But don't worry, he interdicts me again, and again I stay close. I don't want to get caught out by the torpedoes. There's nothing worse than the feeling of getting caught out by torpedoes in a medium ship. That is properly annoying. But I'll be honest, it's properly annoying, but if you get caught by torpedoes in a medium, it's kind of your own fault. Either there was a lack of awareness, you didn't hear the warning, or you flew into them. It's happened to me a few times. It's always embarrassing when it does happen. I think it's only ever cost me... No, actually no, I escaped that time. Only just, but I did escape. Yeah, it's never cost me a rebuy, I don't think. But it has embarrassed me a few times with losing my shields to torpedoes. But this time, I know something this guy didn't know. We had a laugh about it in chat afterwards. But yeah, he didn't know there was a minimum arming distance. He gets a nasty surprise when the torpedoes don't do anything. And that is the problem with the one pumper. Once you pump your one pumper, it's kind of redundant. And I don't think he's finished his engineering. He probably just wanted to test his torpedoes out and didn't actually expect someone to fight back. But I'm going to show you now the number of contributors to this CG, and as you can see, it's a very low number of contributors. Normally there's 5,000 or 6,000 commanders that contribute towards a CG, but that low turnout is just indicative of how quiet the game is and how unwilling the truckers are to do stuff for the cult of the Thargoid. Which have been two unpopular CGs in a period of time when the game has been quiet because a lot of players are disgruntled with the game at the moment. And it's kind of unfortunate because it's kind of exacerbating the situation, making the game appear more dead than it actually is. Because there's still a lot of commanders playing the game. It's just lacking that sort of focal point when, you know, they're all off doing other things because the CG is not a very popular group that they're doing the CG for. They did an Archon delaying CG followed by a CG for the Cult of the Thargoid, which is never going to get that many players. But also the game is quiet at the moment because a lot of people are disgruntled with the release of Odyssey and the mess that's been made of the game. I must admit this CG was plagued with disconnections, de-instancing, weird and wonderful wacky stuff that happened. We did have a really fun incident where someone trolled us in a Type 9, had a lot of fun. They dropped bio waste. I ended up in a 1v1 situation with them, so GG's to that commander. He knows who he is. Unfortunately, because of reasons, that footage will not be included. The only clip I've got is me and Polo in a field of bio waste, and we had a choice as pirates. Do we collect this cargo? Well, it counts, so yeah, we did. That's 40 tons for the scoreboard, so just fill up on bio waste, boys. It's good for the scoreboard. But yeah, a lot of bio waste. Just someone trolled us in a Type 9, dumping bio waste and attacking us with missiles. But anyway, that's all for me talking on this video. I'm going to leave you with my favourite bit of piracy from the CG, with my favourite bit of piracy music, and at the end I'll show you the number of people that contributed towards the bounty hunting side, which is even worse really, because the bounty hunting side normally just loads of people can't turn up for that. Anyway, that's all. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of this clip.